What's up, crew? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. Today we're going to take a look at a few combos that can be done with this new Red Dragon Archfiend deck that we got coming out. The new structure deck should be out in the next couple of days here. I think OTS Store should have it probably by the time this video is uploaded. And so the first two combos here can be done with a build that is created just out of 3 structure decks, so $30 deck right there. The last one you would need to add some additional stuff into it in order to be able to complete the combo, but either way, all of them are pretty cool. Should be able to make use of all of them. As far as the deck list goes, a 3 structure deck build should be up in the next day or two, and a build that uses whatever cards I saw fit is already up on the channel, so I'll link that down below. You can check that out if you want, but if you just want to see the list that I'm using for the combos here today, here it is. And one last note before we get into it here, I'm getting awfully close to that 400 subscriber mark, and I'd really love if you guys could help me get there. So if you find any value in this at all, please subscribe. It's free. It makes me feel good. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so for combo number 1, we just need the Soul Resonator plus anything you can discard, anything at all. So we'll start that off with that normal summon of Soul Resonator and get that effect on summon. To search, we're going to grab our Bone Archfiend. Now we'll use that Bone Archfiend effect to special summon itself. We'll discard our extra card in our hand there. And then we're going to use that Bone Archfiend effect on the field to reduce its level by 1, sending the Crimson Resonator to the graveyard, and now we got that 6 on board. We'll then Synchro Summon using our 6 on board. We'll get the Red Rising Dragon going here. Red Rising's effect is going to activate, and we'll special summon the Crimson out of the graveyard. Crimson's effect requirements have been met, so we're going to use that Crimson Resonator to special summon 2. So you could either go Synchron plus Soul, which gives you 12 to make your Supernova Dragon, but it doesn't give you the red zone, which is what gives you the double board wipe. So here we're going to go Vision Resonator plus Red Resonator. So this still gives you 12. It also gives you a little life point boost, which is nothing, but it exists. So you target the Red Rising with the Red Resonator. We're now up to 10,100 life points, and we can Synchro Summon for the Supernova using everything on the board. And then that Vision Resonator effect will activate in the graveyard. We can grab Crimson Gaia, and then we can use that Crimson Gaia to activate to search and grab the red zone. So for the end board here, you got your red Supernova Dragon with that board wipe. He's also up to 6,000 attack because of all the tuners you got in the graveyard. You've got the Crimson Gaia set up, so you have searches on your next turn, and you have red zone that you can just flip to put this back on the board and board wipe a second time. And then on your turn, you can put the red Supernova back again, and you have another board wipe, or you just have that 6,000 attack beater. So for combo number 2 here, this will be a going second OTK combo. It's the same setup as the first one you just saw, Soul Resonator plus anything you can discard. In order for this combo to work all the way through, your opponent has to have an attack position monster for you to be able to destroy with an effect at some point in order to complete the combo. So for that purpose, I just threw a Soul Resonator on board here so we can demonstrate that. Obviously, if you're going second, you're probably going to be playing through something a little bit more than this. The rest of your hand will just have to help you with that. But for the sake of demonstration, this is what we got. So we'll start the same way here, normal summoning the Soul Resonator, using it as its effect to search the Bone Archfiend. We'll grab that Bone Archfiend, put it in the hand. Bone Archfiend's effect will activate, we'll discard our spare whatever, and we'll summon the Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend's effect to reduce its level by 1 will activate, we'll send the Crimson Resonator, we'll decrease the level by 1. And then we got the Red Rising effect to special summon the Crimson out of the graveyard. We'll use that Crimson effect to special summon Synchron and Vision here. And we're going to make our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. We'll use Vision and we'll use Red Rising to make the Scar Red. Vision's effect will activate, and that'll get us Gaia. So we'll get Crimson Gaia to hand. We'll activate it right away here. We'll use the Crimson Gaia to search. So what you search here is kind of up to you. I would say you're choosing between the red zone and the absolute power force, depending on what else is in your hand or what interrupts you've met with thus far. We'll grab the absolute power force at this point just because it's an OTK type of combo, and this can help with that. If they have a defense position monster, you don't have the board wipe for that in the later combo here with Scar Red's effect, but the absolute power force can get you past that. So we'll special summon the Abyss right away using Synchron and Scar Red. Scar Red's effect will activate, but so will Synchron's. We'll go Scar Red, link 1. We'll go Synchron, link 2. Synchron is going to allow us to add a Resonator back to our hand, so you can go Vision or Soul. Vision, you can still use the effect to special summon itself, though you don't really need it. Soul would set you up for the next turn. We'll just grab the Soul for now. And then you would also have the ability to negate a face-up card your opponent controls. We'll ignore it because I only gave them the Soul Resonator. And then Scar Red will special summon that Red Dragon Archfiend. And because we summoned a Dark Dragon Synchro with Scar Red, you get that board wipe here. The board wipe then will trigger Gaia, which will allow us to special summon the Scar Red back out of the graveyard to our field. And right there you already have the OTK, but we'll finish it up without leaving the Crimson on board. And we will special summon Bane using our Crimson and our Red Dragon Archfiend. And here you have 9,700. You have the Absolute Power Force in hand, so if something is in defense mode, you can Absolute Power Force and target your Scar Red, and then when it attacks, it'll do piercing and it'll do double damage, and he will bump to 4,000. So probably looking at somewhere near 4,000 damage right there. You also have the Book of Moon effect off of Gaia, so if you want to put it in defense mode, like they have something that didn't get destroyed for whatever reason, you can Book of Moon it with your Gaia, then attack over it with the Scar Red with Absolute Power Force. So a couple of things there, and then you've got these two big boys to finish up the game. And for our last one here, you need Bone Archfiend and Crimson Resonator, so a little bit more complex than the first two, but this gives you kind of a combination of those first two. You get the board wipe, and you also would have an OTK at that point, so we'll just get right into it here. We'll start with that Crimson Resonator effect to special summon itself because there is nothing on the board. And then we'll normal summon the Bone Archfiend. We don't need Bone Archfiend's effect just yet. We're going to special summon Red Rising using these two, and then Red Rising's effect is going to activate, and we'll get our Crimson back on board. We'll use our Crimson Resonator's effect to special summon our Soul and our Synchron, and we will get the Soul effect because we did not use the Soul to start like we did on the first two. So Soul is going to search one for us, and we'll grab another copy of Synchron because it is not once per turn. We're then going to make our Abyss using the Soul and the Red Rising, and then we'll immediately get rid of our Abyss and make a Dispatter using our Synchron and our Abyss, and we will get that Synchron effect to add one back to the hand. We'll grab the Soul. That Soul is just going to end up being discard fodder. We're going to use the Bone Archfiend effect out of the graveyard. We'll discard the Soul. We'll special summon the Bone Archfiend. We're then going to use this Bone Archfiend to reduce Dispatter's level. We're not going to do anything with the Dispatter. We just want to set up the Uva Loop in the graveyard. So we'll decrease it by 1. Does not matter because it's going to stay there. But we do have another Red Rising here available, so we will make the Red Rising using our Bone and our Crimson. Then we use that Red Rising's effect to special summon our Synchron Resonator from the graveyard. We'll use that Uva Loop we dumped in the graveyard. We'll banish a Red Rising out of the graveyard, and we get it back to our hand. Then we're going to use that Uva Loop effect from the hand, banish the Abyss that's in our graveyard to special summon the Uva Loop. And then we'll use that Synchron that we have in our hand to put it on the field. So now right here we have the Red Supernova Dragon, so we'll special summon that using the Uva Loop, the two Synchrons, and the Red Rising. We get both Synchron effects here to add stuff back to hand. So we'll grab both of our Resonators that are not the Synchron Resonators, our Soul and our Crimson. Oh, I hope I did that right. I think I might have targeted the same thing twice. Nope, we're good. And then right here, our end board, we have our board wipe. We have an effect negation here, and you have an OTK because this guy's at 55, so we're at 5, 8, 11, 12,200. So pretty sweet setup there as well. I know there's a bunch of different variations of when you summon certain Crimson monsters, so you can set up a little back row here too, depending on how you choose to do it. So just play around with it, see how you like it. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for checking it out. If there's any interesting combos you've been playing around with, leave them down below. I'd love to hear about them. If you're planning on picking up those structure decks, make sure you grab them from an OTS. Get yourself one of those Lost Art promos along with it. Happy deck building, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.